Looking to save money with those Sunday morning coupons? Well, keep your scissors at bay. There are now big savings to be had online. New websites are popping up offering deep discounts this summer. Since April, Jerry Doyle's website, Eversave Boston, has been offering daily deals on anything from restaurants to spas to ballet slippers.
It's things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily always do, but because you see a great deal there, you're going to go kayaking on the Charles River, or you're going to go water tubing up in Amesbury Park.
Here's how it works. After registering at Eversave.com, you're emailed a deal of the day called a save. If you want it, pay with your credit card and print out the coupon, which you have months to use. There's no cost to sign up for the consumer or the merchant. And Doyle only makes money when there's a transaction.
So if somebody spends $20 for a $40 voucher, we're going to take a small percentage of that $20. The rest of it goes to the merchant.
Eversave joins a growing number of online sites teaming up with small business owners, offering steep discounts with the hope of luring in new customers. It's worked for Angelo Ferenzi, owner of Angelato, a cafe in Belmont.
To be honest, I was skeptical about the kind of promotion they were offering, but in 8 years in business, I have never gotten a response from a promotion like I did from Eversave.
His promotion pays $6 for $12 worth of goods. By 8 o'clock in the morning, he had already sold 60 vouchers.
I actually emailed them and I said, "Is this real? Did that really happen?" And they said, "Yes, it's real. We're excited for you too." By the end of the day, it was almost 500.
That translates into big bucks for Ferenzi's small shop, even with customers getting a 50% discount up front.
The first person who came in to turn in their $12 certificate and spent $60.
Like his merchants, Jerry Doyle has had so much success with Eversave, he's expanding down the East Coast.
I think it's a real win-win from a consumer standpoint and a merchant standpoint.
And in the long run, a win-win for him, too. And joining me now is our Up in Your Business contributor, Chris Frieswick. Seems hard to believe that they could cut their prices in half. But it's all about the volume.
Absolutely, and it's also about the incremental income that they're making when, for instance, someone comes in with a $12 coupon but ends up spending $60. And that's a small price to pay for a $60 sale.
So Eversave is in Boston, but he's talking about expanding. Are there other outfits just like Eversave around the country?
There's a lot of them actually, and there seems to be an enormous number of them that are based in the Boston area. I suspect it might be because of a lot of the colleges around here have great entrepreneurial programs.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of venture funding in the area, but there is a company called Buy With Me that's located in Boston that has the same sort of model, and there's a lot of companies that do a lot of business with Boston-based companies, even though they may be national companies, national coupon companies. There's a lot of presence in Boston if you want to save some money.
Okay, there's some others that are sort of a take on this, but not just like Eversave, like this first one, Groupon.
Right. Groupon.com is a company that basically does the same sort of thing. It offers you a cut price coupon that you can spend at the participating merchant, but unlike Eversave, Groupon requires that a certain number of people actually sign up for the coupon in order for it to become valuable. It doesn't kick in until usually it's about 100 people that need to actually purchase the coupon before it works. Again, it's
the Isabel Gardner Stewart Museum got 9,000.
9,000. They sold 9,000 Groupons. Now, there's a question of how many people on one day are going to show up.
Well, no,
a lot of these Groupons actually come with some conditions, like you can use it on certain days, or you have to make an appointment, so that they can sort of manage the flow of people that are coming in to use those coupons.
All right, and it's another one, Restaurant.com.
Restaurant.com is a national company. They have a presence all over the country, most of the major cities in the U.S. Boston there's about 75 restaurants that are on Restaurant.com that are from the Boston area, and again, you buy a voucher, essentially, say for $20 you'll get a $50 or $40 coupon that you can then go in and use in that restaurant toward your meal. There are a number of restrictions, again, that often will not let you use them on like high volume nights like Friday or Saturday, and frequently you can't use them for alcohol.
All right, what else?
Well, we have also one of my favorite.
Rue La La.
Rue La La is one of my favorite.
See, now, I was suspect of that one.
Why is that?
Because I went on that line, and I said it was all last year's merchandise.
Well,
I'm a shopper, and I noticed all
that
this
may
stuff.
be true, because that's sort of how they get these cut rate prices on a lot of the merchandise that they're offering, is that obviously if it's this year's stuff and it's brand new, hot off the press, they're not going to offer it at 50% off, which is what you get on Rue La La. However, they also have watches, housewares, luggage, which if it's 6 months old, if it's not necessarily the latest season, really, who's going to care?
They claim that it's by invitation only. That is not true.
Well, it is by invitation only, but there's lots and lots of ways that you can get your invitation. You can either get it from somebody who's already a member.
No, I signed up cold.
Well, and that might have been, how long ago was that? It was probably a while ago.
No, it was back at the time when they said it was by invitation only. I said, I don't believe that.
Well, you have special
I didn't. Nobody knew me. All right. What else?
Well, there's also an organization, or there's a website called ThreadUp, which is really kind of neat. It's a children's clothing online swapping site where you basically can find other people that are selling clothes that are for the gender and age of child that you need clothes for. You can then also package up all your old children's clothes that you don't need anymore and put it on their site. And it's basically a swap for swap.
Yeah, there's other swapping. There's a lot of swapping.
There's
CDs
a lot of swapping.
And all that stuff.
You do need to be careful. There are some pretty strict tax rules around barter, this is considered barter, so make sure that you're not violating any tax rules, because if you're trading up, like if you're trading something and you're getting something that's worth more money, that's actually recognizable as income, so you need to be careful about that. And one of the ways that websites that have swapping maintain the quality of the stuff that's being swapped is that they ask their users to always post reviews of the other swappers. And if somebody's consistently getting bad reviews about the quality of the stuff that they're swapping, they get bounced.
What are the downsides of this for the consumer? Anything? Any of these things?
Eversave
or anything?
I don't really see a lot of downside. I mean, I have talked to some people that said that sometimes if a promotion like that on Eversave or Groupon is extremely successful, it can be tough to get in the door at a place. It can be if it requires an appointment, it can be difficult to get the appointment. But I'm also hearing that these sites are very customer friendly, mostly because they're all brand new and they don't want to start off, making customers angry right when they're out of the gate.
All right, that's really interesting. And we're going to post, for anybody listening here tonight, we're going to post all those sites on our website, wgbh.org/Greater Boston, and you can check it out there. All right, so that's it for Greater Boston. Tomorrow, after the murders of 3 teenagers in the city, we'll look at how young people are coping with the violence in Boston.
You can't be a softie, because then you'll get punked and you'll get jumped. And you can't be like a hardcore kind of guy, because then you're just getting the fights and you aggravate people.
We will have that story and more tomorrow at 7 at Greater Boston. Coming up now, it's the start of the quarterfinals of High School Quiz Show. I'm Emily Rooney. Good night.